There's lots of news today, including details about how Jon Moxley could return to the WWE, what led to Eric Bischoff joining the WWE, how the move to Fox could make or break Bischoff, news on injured superstars, President Trump even coming to the WWE again, and sadly the deaths of two wrestling legends. But let's get into our first story. Could Jon Moxley be back in the WWE? Well, no, as that title is slightly clickbaity, but according to Raja.com, Moxley has an interesting clause in his contract that opens the door for a possible return in 2020. According to a Raja.com source, Jon Moxley's new contract with All Elite Wrestling is a 3-year deal with the option for him to opt out after 1 year. When Moxley initially decided to leave WWE, he had told both Vince McMahon and Paul Levesque that he was intending to take a year off to heal his body and his brain. So the assumption was that he would be returning to the company in 2020. In fact, the source adds that WWE was so sure that Moxley would be back in the WWE that they had already planned for some tentative creative for his comeback at the Royal Rumble next year. As the late great Gorilla Monsoon often said, the chance of Moxley returning to the company are highly unlikely. Moxley seems to be having the time of his life right now working for AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and in a recent interview he discussed how he felt as if he was starting his career all over again. The adage never say never always applies, but we advise against holding your breath waiting for the return of Dean Ambrose. But let's move on to the next story regarding Eric Bischoff, and try to answer the question of who needs whom more. Does Eric Bischoff need the WWE, or does the WWE need Eric Bischoff? Right now, no one knows how Eric Bischoff will influence the WWE's creative direction on Smackdown Live, but the immediate question seems to be, who needs whom more in the current business relationship? Dave Meltzer recently updated fans on Eric Bischoff's financial situation, saying, Bischoff has gone from venture to venture. He sold a few reality shows built around his friends, former teen star Scott Baio and Hulk Hogan, but his shows had short shelf lives. His ventures in the combat sport realm with K1, Matrats and TNA were all major failures. His TV syndication company died and he and his wife declared bankruptcy in 2017. His career was resurrected by Conrad Thompson after he got nowhere with a previous podcast. But even though the show was transparent, he didn't appear to have learned much from his mistakes and seemed more about trying to create a new version of history, ironically something McMahon also tries to do. This week's Observer posited an interesting reason for McMahon hiring Bischoff. Perhaps at its core, McMahon feels wrestling is a con-man business and that WWE has been weakened by not having con-men in charge manipulating everyone. Meltzer's comments are applicable to Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff, and perhaps more applicable to Heyman, well known for his ability to talk his talent into nearly everything during his time running ECW. Bischoff's hiring seemed to reach one goal sought by the WWE, placating shareholders. The current issue of Wrestling Observer newsletter pointed out that Wall Street has largely praised the move. We've seen 3 analyst reports who go with the idea Bischoff was the genius who actually beat McMahon at one point, and that with McMahon, Bischoff and Heyman working together, it's going to greatly strengthen creative. That's fine for now, but the endgame is driving up ratings, something Bischoff will have to do. Looking at his current situation, Eazy-E may have fallen into a terrific situation. Bischoff has a great opportunity in front of him as SmackDown Executive Director. While the Blue Brand's ratings have been going down, as have Raw, the move to Fox will mean a bigger audience base than USA has right now. Consider this ratings analyst by Wade Keller of Pro Wrestling Torch. In the key 18 to 49 adult demographic, SmackDown was ranked number 1 on cable for the night with a 0.6 rating. There were 3 shows with the 0.4 ratings below it, including Chris Lee Knows Best. The News Fox program Tucker Carlson Tonight outdrew SmackDown by 1 million total viewers, but it barely made it in the top 25 rankings in the key 18 to 49 adult demographic. While this demographic is crucial, Wade also notes how the 2nd July 2019 SmackDown fared in ratings compared to Fox's Friday night programming from 28th June 2019. The Fox broadcast network last Friday night, the network and the night of the week SmackDown will move to this fall, drew 1.61 and 1.16 million viewers, repeats of First Responders Live and MasterChef, so SmackDown easily outdrew summer reruns on Fox broadcast network with its current viewership. Bischoff has already helped the WWE out by temporarily appeasing Wall Street, but if he can implement changes to boost SmackDown's ratings, he'll be partly responsible for saving the WWE's deal with Fox. Bischoff is likely happy with the income he's deriving from his new role in the WWE. particularly after his financial setbacks, but there's something else to be gained: redemption. While Eric Bischoff was credited with turning WCW from an operation that lost money to one that made money, and lots of it, his legacy was hurt by WCW's decline. Furthermore, Bischoff was unable to help TNA when he worked for the company, with some wondering how much of his success in WCW was due to Ted Turner's generous hiring policies. Hence Bischoff's nickname ATM Eric. If Bischoff helps the blue brand bounce back, it'll strengthen his reputation as a wrestling visionary, but right now Bischoff needs the WWE more than they need him. But if he revives Smackdown, he'll be Vince McMahon's golden boy. Moving on though, let's look into the injury department, where Smackdown superstar Mustafa Ali was seen in a promo on 2nd July 2019 Smackdown, but don't expect to see him competing in the ring for some time. Ringside News noted that Ali underwent surgery on 28th June, although there's no word what the procedure was. Ali isn't the only superstar on the mend from surgery, as Jinder Mahal underwent knee surgery in late June. Mahal tweeted, "On the mend, ruptured my patella tendon in Denver, Colorado June 15th in a match against Ali. Happy to say surgery went well and my knee was better than expected. This comeback is going to be legendary. WrestleLamia wishes both superstars its best wishes for a fast recovery, but if ratings don't improve, Vince McMahon now has two absent superstars he can blame any ratings declines on when the WWE's third quarter earnings report comes out. Perhaps there's another way WWE can boost ratings, as they're trying to get President Trump on SmackDown Live. Now, before Trump was elected as US President, some might recall he had a brief stint in professional wrestling and that he delivered one of the worst clotheslines in history at WrestleMania 23 during the Battle of the Billionaires. The man to represent his corner was a then babyface Bobby Lashley, as he defeated Vince's Umaga, with the end forfeit of having the head honcho's head shaved clean. Again, before he became president, he was also inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2013 and remains to be the only president ever inducted. He's also had a long-standing history with WWE, using his venues for WrestleMania 4 and 5 and also attending WrestleMania 6, and ever since they maintained a good relationship. Now, as you know, big changes are coming to SmackDown on October as it moves over to Fox Network, and WWE are trying to pull out all the stops to make it seem as if the billion-dollar deal was worth it by trying to get President Trump to show up on SmackDown. WWE insider Tom Colohue notes, starting with a number of internal emails and communications, Fox staff floated the idea of approaching WWE and Donald Trump about making a brief appearance on SmackDown Live. At this time, there is no evidence that Trump himself has been approached, though Fox staff seem confident that both WWE and the President will understand the potential benefits to all parties. However, at least one member of the WWE creative team has been approached about this concept. Not only has President Trump been reportedly contacted, but so has former 8-time WWE champion The Rock. WWE is sort of pushing a panic button and trying to call former guys, new guys, whatever. They're trying everything here. I've also heard for that the first SmackDown on Fox in LA, they're trying to get The Rock, they're trying to get Brock Lesnar, they're trying to get Ric Flair into it. However, with The Rock's hectic Hollywood schedule, where he couldn't even appear at SmackDown's 1000th episode, it's unlikely that he'll appear, but fingers crossed. Our last bit of news is something sad, unfortunately, as we see the passing of two legends. Lucha Libre legend Pedro El Perro Aguirre passed away on 3rd July 2019. According to the Wrestling Observer, Aguirre, Rey Mendoza and Gory Guerrero are generally considered as the three biggest stars in the history of Lucha Libre who were not masked wrestlers. Known for brawling, bleeding and throwing his body around, Aguirre made his name as a heel, and as he got older, was one of the most beloved wrestlers of any wrestler in history. It's difficult to appreciate how popular some of Mexico's lucha stars are, unless one closely follows the sport or lives in Mexico. Aguirre was a star who truly deserved the name icon. Also on 1st July 2019, the wrestling world lost Rougeau family patriarch Jacques Rougeau Sr., who was 89 years old when he passed. Jacques Rougeau was known for his tag team with brother Johnny, as well as feuds against other stars of his era, such as The Sheik, Don Leo Jonathan, and Alexis Smirnoff. Rougeau fathered three sons who became wrestlers: Jacques Rougeau, Armand Rougeau, and Raymond Rougeau. Jacques and Raymond competed in the WWF as the Fabulous Rougeau Brothers, winning the tag team gold. We'd like to send our condolences to the friends and family of Mr. Aguirre and Mr. Rougeau. But there you have it guys, some of the latest news and rumours in the world of wrestling. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.